Hello and welcome to our Galaxy Research Project, presented by Simran, David, and Roman. The first question we wanted to address was if there is a correlation between local density and near-cluster mass. After plotting the galaxies with near-cluster mass on the x-axis and local density on the y-axis, it is apparent that as near-cluster mass increases, the vertical groupings of galaxies become more scarce. This indicates that clusters with higher masses occur less frequently in the universe than clusters with lower masses. In an attempt to determine the cause for vertical groupings, we plotted the celestial coordinates of the galaxies from the Sloan Digital Sky Survey data. Although we found a trend, it was determined that the stripes in the sky were simply due to parts of the sky that were more deeply imaged. This would not have an effect on the data because the universe is homogeneous. Our second question was to find if there is any correlation between color and stellar mass. With GR on the y-axis and mass on the x-axis, we found that there is a clear trend showing that as mass increases, the galaxies become more red. Going back to our first graph that showed as galaxies become more massive, they also become less frequent. This chart shows how those more massive galaxies are more red in color. Using an article from the Astrobytes website, we can conclude that in order to have a red, high-mass galaxy, a dry mass merger would have to occur. Therefore, they are less prominent than the lower-mass blue galaxies that have wet mergers. The reason wet mergers form blue galaxies is because they have more gas that can kickstart more star formation. On the other hand, dry mergers have already used up the gas required for star formation. In conclusion, is there a correlation between local density and near-cluster mass? While we did not find a correlation between local density and near-cluster mass, we did find that as galaxies become more massive, they also become more scarce. Is there a correlation between color and stellar mass? Yes. We found that as the stellar mass becomes greater, the galaxies are also redder in color. In reflection, interestingly, while answering seemingly non-correlated questions, data actually showed a correlation between the two questions which explain the science behind the nature of galaxies. From this research, we wonder if, in the future, our universe will have more red high-mass galaxies due to the aging of galaxies and consumption of wet mergers.